LaLota. He represents the 1st Congressional District in Suffolk County. He's joining us from his office in D.C. this morning. Nice to have you back on Good Day.
Good morning, ladies.
So, Congressman, what are you going to do? Are you voting for or against Jim Jordan today, and why?
I won't be with Mr. Jordan today. I've spoken with him for the last 2 weeks about the criteria that it would take to earn my vote. Of course, I represent a Long Island district, a Suffolk County district. And what I've asked Mr. Jordan is to consider the policy priorities most important to my constituents. First and foremost, keeping the government open and paying our troops while at the same time reducing spending and securing the border. But more locally, to make sure that, contrary to what he's voted on in the past, to make sure that he funds the National Flood Insurance Program, to make sure that he funds the World Trade Center Health Program, and to increase the cap on the SALT deduction. These are local priorities for my Long Island constituents. I've formed a bloc with Representatives D'Esposito and Garbarino, and we have presented ourselves as a united front to Mr. Jordan. And until and unless he gives us solid resolution, a reliable resolution on these concerns, we're going to hold out.
Gotcha. Now, I'm hearing there's lots of reports that those who are holding out and not supporting Jim Jordan are getting threatened. Are you one of those people getting threatened?
Yeah, there's a couple of knuckleheads here and there that, take to the internet to troll me and whatnot. And last night, some knucklehead from Long Island said something about he hopes that I die and he's going to whip the hair out of my head if he ever sees me. So consider that a threat or not, I really don't care. It doesn't deter me. The world's got a couple of crazy folks in it. This apparently is one of them. When I campaigned for this office, I told voters that I was a Navy veteran, the brother of a Marine sniper, the son and grandson of cops, the stepson of a Navy man. I think what I was channeling when I said that was I'd have the courage to do the right things even when it became tough. And I'm not going to be deterred by one jerk on the internet.
I hear you. But it's not more than the internet. It's not coming from Jim Jordan's office, right?
Oh, absolutely not. In fact, to his credit, Mr. Jordan's credit, he sent out a tweet about a day ago denouncing anybody taking tactics like this. So, there's a couple of one-offs here and there, and I won't be deterred by it.
I know you certainly won't be deterred, but it doesn't make it right. However, moving forward, I know there's an overwhelming support to vote on aid to bring to Israel. However, right now, what is being stagnated because there is no House Speaker?
So we haven't missed a single beat by the House floor being closed for the last 14 days. Israel and the funding to Israel is fully funded at this moment, and I fully support our aid to Israel. Israel is America's closest ally. Those who chant death to America are the same ones who want to wipe Israel off of the map. We have common enemies. We should stand with Israel every step of the way, and that should be unequivocal from the Congress. That said, all the aid that Israel needs right now to defend itself, to eradicate the terrorists who cowardly attacked it, it has right now. If a supplemental package is needed in the future, we will certainly entertain that. But that is not being held up because of this hectic and chaotic process.
I think what's chaotic is also the reporting coming out of the Middle East. How does the public discern from, I guess, responsible reporting and reckless reporting when you have outlets like BBC, CNN, even New York Times take what a barbaric terrorist organization like Hamas says and runs that as fact? Because most people are not going back to those headlines and checking for redactions or changes.
Well, the relationship that my constituents make with their news media is an important one. And I think that what we've learned over the last 5 or 10 years is, much like one's family, one needs to have trust and reliability in the networks they follow. A lot of that has been cast into doubt over the last couple of years, and social media has become bigger. But I would encourage folks to really analyze the networks that are giving them information, understand from a long-term basis which networks are reliable and which aren't, and have folks make an informed decision on what news they're consuming. Because yes, some of it, sometimes most of it, is tainted, and we need to be very careful with what we listen to.
Well, forget about news organizations. What about your own Congress people? Tlaib yesterday held a big press conference. She seems like she believes Hamas over U.S. intelligence. I mean, how do you deal with that within the Democratic Party?
I think you're giving a little more deference than I would. I think it's more than seems like. I think that she actually believes that, and she's been consistent about it for quite some time. We've removed a number of people from the Intelligence Committee because they're more sympathetic with America's adversaries than with America's allies and America herself. And, listen, the voters of that district get to choose which representative they send to Washington. And she hasn't hidden those beliefs prior to these statements, which are abhorrent, which are disgusting, which don't represent the overwhelming majority of the opinions in the Congress. By the way, both Republican and Democrat. Most Republicans and Democrats, the overwhelming majority, 95%, have been unequivocal about our support for Israel, condemning Hamas, condemning Hamas's terrorist tactics. A few knucklehead Congress folks don't seem to get it. And I'm frustrated because I don't know why their voters continue to send them here.
But should they be held responsible because they're shaping the opinions of people, which has very tangible outcomes across the world? You have Israeli embassies being attacked because people are believing things that Hamas say as fact. You have Congress people saying these things. At what point do you draw a line of distinction between you're held responsible and maybe you should just not tweet about these things?
Well, a number of my colleagues and I have already posted to social media our condemnation of Tlaib's and others' comments. And I suspect those condemnations will continue so long as Tlaib and others make those disgusting comments. When we run the House floor again, I think we're going to make that condemnation a little more formal, making sure that America understands that we disassociate ourselves from these disgusting comments, that the Congress, overwhelmingly, 95% or better, is unequivocal in its support of Israel and its condemnation of Hamas. And nobody, neither an American or anybody internationally, should confuse Tlaib's comments with what the majority of representatives of the House believe.
Gotcha. All right, before you go, quickly, would you ever vote for Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House?
I'm looking for a reasonable Republican, a common sense conservative to lead the House, somebody who will keep the government open, fund the troops while we secure the border and cut spending. I don't think Hakeem Jeffries fits that profile.
Congressman Nick LaLota, good luck today in D.C. Thank you so much for being on. Good day.